Why does a person feel like they can cheat on another?
I did gymnastics. I did gymnastics.
You're funny.
All right,
Alright.
I'm gonna go to the gym. All right, goodbye.
Bye, Dad.
My dad. Oh, my babas. Babas. Okay. All right, bro. I'll see you at the church.
What do you mean I'm ready? But where's your keys? I'm leaving this in. Gosh.
All right, it's 2:47. Today's Thursday. Today was a little bit more chill of a day. I didn't get all the recording done early in the morning. Tom is with me all the time, so he had a cool little opportunity to start working with Brandon Montoya, just to build up his content for social media for his HVAC company. So we went and did that. We shot some videos. While we were doing that, I did our first consultation call for mine and Kelly's marriage coaching ministry that we're really trying to launch. And so we talked to a girl this morning for a good hour, a woman, and she's not doing too well in her marriage. Her husband actually cheated on her, and so Kelly and I were able to talk with her, encourage her, challenge her, and offered her our services. And so we're gonna start working with her now. But right now we're on our way to the church, and then we're gonna go to the gym. Do you want your bag to go in the church or in your pocket? So we just got back to the church. We're changing, getting ready, gonna transition to go to the gym. But I was just thinking about my morning, just kind of processing. One of the things that Kelly and I love to do is just help people. And so I was just thinking about kind of our journey and where we're at, where we used to be, and really where we want to go. And I think for me, I just want to bring value to people. I really want to help people. And it's just like, it's in my bones, it's in my blood to care for one another and to love on one another and to walk with each other. And I really do think that there's a difference between sympathy and empathy. Empathy is like really taking on another person's brokenness and pain and hurt and walking alongside of them. And so, I mean, that's what Kelly and I have been doing for such a long time. And it's become such a part of like who I am. It's just, I love to serve and I love to help people. But I was just thinking about this idea, like why does a person feel like they can cheat on another? And, you know, there's a lot of different reasons for that. I would say first and foremost, in my biased opinion, is like when God is not like really truly at the center of somebody's soul, then they're going to make decisions outside of God. And so, but if God is like at the center of a man's soul or at the center of a woman's soul, then morality and ethics and values and convictions are at the forefront of a person's mind. So if you don't have those values, those convictions, the obedience of like Jesus's way of living, then you're gonna do whatever you want. And oftentimes that's at the expense of another person, of a friend, of, in this situation with this woman, of a spouse, of a husband. And it just blows my mind that, you know, this individual wanted to be a pastor and was going to school to be a pastor, and yet ended up cheating on his wife. And it just, for me, the reason why it's like I have learned so much in this coaching space, this walking with people space, is that I really get to see a whole nother side of like, of a man or of a woman. I get to see, unfortunately, like the worst part or the worst seasons of somebody's life. And so it teaches me a lot about my own life. But it is heartbreaking. But to just go back to what I was saying, the reason why I think someone cheats on somebody is because God's not at the center. It's that simple. There's not a healthy sense of like, God is first. It's more so like, oh, my emotions are first. What I want is first, and not the conviction of God. So just a thought I had.
Is all you know. When
I also forgot to mention that this morning, I usually try to get my sermons done on Thursdays and Fridays. My message is done Thursdays, Fridays. Someone asked me the other day, how long does it take to write a message for a Sunday or a sermon? And it's really hard to kind of like put that into hours, because I'm literally thinking about it. As soon as my sermon's done on Sunday, Monday comes, I'm already thinking about the next message. And so it takes me, I would say, many hours of thinking, of processing, of looking at different scripture. But today I sat down for like hour and a half, 2 hours, had a really good idea of what I wanted to talk about. And so got that done this morning as well. That's much of what I do on Thursdays. So because I'm ahead of the day already, I don't feel like a conviction of going to the gym at the time that I am. But we're gonna go hit the gym. And then later this evening, I think we're doing something with the girls. So yeah, let's go to the gym. Show me.
I had a little piece of paper, and I funneled it, and I poured it in the paper.
What is that though? What are you drinking?
G1M Sport, Nick Bear, you know?
Let's go.
They got me good, bro. They finessed me. $40.
All right, what are we gonna hit, bro? What are we hitting?
Oh, we're hitting shoulders and arms today. Just cause like, with the whole triathlon training, like our bodies are just getting banged up. And so I want to work out something that I truly enjoy. And it always cheers me up when you hit chest or shoulders and arms. It's always nice. It's very masculine to get an arm pump.
Let's
and
go.
It feels really good. So shoulders and arms today.
Let's go. Our guy's here.
Our guy, the doctor.
Let's go. There he is. What's up, Chase?
the vlog, I love
Yes,
it.
sir.
Let's
Yes,
go.
sir.
Without you, every little thing in life is purposeless. Harsh, but it's true. I'd be lying if I said the world satisfied my thirst.
All right. Got out of the gym, went to the gym, did arms and shoulders. We saw Chase, our good friend from the church. Saw Justin as well. Didn't get that on the clip. Now we're back at Coin.
Like, why is it so dark so early? Like, I think that's what makes me so freaking tired.
Tom said he's tired because it's dark
But
early.
it could be because I hit the doom scroll at 1 a.m.
Yeah, don't be doing the doom
Don't
scroll.
be doing that, like. Alright, well, this is like where we post for like 8 hours a day, you know?
So if you hear a bunch of clicks, that's Tom editing. But as I try to think through this idea of being centered with God, having God at the center, like I think of my own life, my own marriage. Actually, it's the December 12th as we're recording this. Kelly and I are celebrating 10 years of marriage on the 20th. I was 21 years old, Kelly was 20. And gosh, there's so many things that I've learned about marriage, that I've learned about relationships, that I've learned about myself as a man, as a father, as a husband. But I would really say, like, when I have coached and helped and pastored and walked with men in specific, and women, there's usually like moments in their life where they really lack accountability, they really lack vulnerability, they're not being honest and real with their spouse, and they find themselves in spaces that are not healthy for the marriage, for their even their walk with God. So I noticed every single time there is a crisis or an issue in a marriage, in a relationship, in a friendship, like, I mean, the list goes on and on when it comes to relationships, is that God is not the center of the individual's life. And so on the flip side of that, if God is first in your life, your marriage will be healthy. Like, I am convinced of that. And I don't mean first in the sense of like, you know, he's just like a side thing, he's an accessory. No, God is the center. Jesus said a wise man builds his life on a solid foundation, which is Christ. So if you don't do that, you're going to get the ramifications. If you do have him at the center, man, your marriage obviously is going to take work to be healthy. Your relationship with your children, it's going to take time to be healthy, but like, you got God at the center. And unfortunately, people saying they're disciples of Jesus, Christians, and that's not the case. And so now we have divorce that's like at like a really big epidemic within the church. People that claim discipleship to Jesus. Going back to, you know, that woman that my wife and I are about to walk with, it just breaks my heart that her husband, she's saying like he doesn't want anything to do with God. Okay, that makes sense. God's not in the picture. He wants to kind of just go wayward, do his own thing. But what he doesn't realize is it's going to like really affect the family system. So you got to walk with people and encourage them to like keep God at the center of their life. Individually, their marriage will do well. The door for Thomas, because sometimes we have like weird people that come, bless their soul, but like solicitors, like late at night sometimes. We've been hearing people knocking on the door. I'll do that for Tom. Going home to see the family, gonna spend the rest of the night, put the girls down, spend some time with my wife. I really think about this idea of men and women that have cheated, and let me give you a different perspective, because I know a lot of people that are bagging on the person, that are really like, of course, rightfully so. In any category, it is never okay, it is never morally okay, ethically okay, to cheat on your spouse, like, ever. Now, when you go a little bit deeper and you dig into that individual story, you will find I have talked to men, I have talked to women, that it came out of a deep brokenness, a deep longing, and it had nothing to do with the spouse. It had everything to do with that person. So usually if you date back into a trauma, into an event, I have met people that have been sexually abused when they were children, and that affected their lives sexually. I have met people that have just been deeply wounded and abandoned when they were a child. And now, again, that's not to say, oh, let's allow them to play the victim. This is so they get like a card or a pass to cheat on their spouse. But I am saying pastorally, as far as somebody's soul, you got to look at those things and see them for what they are. Again, I'm not saying that it ever makes it right, but it begins to make sense. When you really meet someone that has gone through a lot, people go through a lot of crazy stuff in their life. And, you know, as a pastor, people are open up the deepest part of their soul, of their life, of their being deep vulnerability, deep transparency, and you discover like the world is really, really broken. People really hurt people. People really can be, there's an injustice that others can place on others. And so it just gives you a different perspective. It still doesn't make it right. It just starts to make it make sense. So anyway, just wanted to give that thought. Okay, we are at the end of our day. It's 9:15, and I just want to say thank you for all that you do in this home and with our children, so that I can do what I do. But I wanted to ask you as we come to a close, you know, we had that call earlier this morning with that individual as we, again, like start to grow this marriage coaching ministry for us. And she is experiencing her husband that cheated on her. And she said, like, I still do want to work it out.
Yeah.
But in your mind, why do you think somebody cheats on another person? Why would someone cheat on their spouse?
I think it's so multifaceted. Like, there's so many different angles you can go with that answer, but we're coming from the approach of, okay, we have this foundation of like the faith journey. So somebody who doesn't have faith as their like solid standpoint, like that already you're walking on like unstable ground.
Yeah.
And so there's that. And I feel like oftentimes when we talk to people, because we do premarital with people, and also I think a lot of times it's things that come up that people weren't actually honest with even before they got married, and they thought they could keep it hidden, thinking whatever it might be. But I also know the Bible says everything hidden will eventually become and be made and brought to the light, right?
So really quick, so you're saying that one of the reasons that someone can cheat is because there were things that were not addressed before they got married in their premarital season that they didn't bring up to light, like maybe some like addictions they had, maybe some sin they had, maybe some like brokenness they had.
Yeah.
And so now their partner didn't know about it before they got married, and now that they're married, it was exposed.
It came to the surface, or they weren't even honest with themselves. Like there are some hidden things that they just didn't work through or weren't willing to work through, and thought they could like hard knuckle it through. And then life comes, and as we know, the storms and the things come, and you have to deal with them with what you have, what's deep within. And if what's deep within is full and whole and like life-giving, as we know being on a firm foundation is, then you'll walk forward in that manner. But if there's cracks in that foundation, you'll eventually start to see the cracks show in many other places.
Absolutely. That's good.
So I think that, and I just think people don't, I feel like once you're married for a little bit and time goes on, you forget sometimes like common courtesy in marriage, like the things that you did before. You just like, oh, I'm so used to this person being around. You forget that they're not just a person. They're a person you married because you love them, you chose them, and you're committed to them. And it's more like, I'm tired, I'm gonna go to bed, and you start to lose pieces in the marriage that it's like, wait, I was committed to you first, not just like the life that we have, the life that we've built.
Love that.
So those are my two.
Well, we will be praying for this individual as we walk with her.
Yes.
And see how it goes. Something that Kelly and I love to do as the day comes to an end. It's so bad. Kelly does it much more than I do. But I'm kidding. We like to eat Oreos.
Yes.
And have some milk and talk.
Yes.
And catch up. And it's really in this season that we're in with 3 children, sometimes the only space that we get. We're grateful if we can have someone watch our girls. But this time is like kind of sacred for us. So anyway, that's all for this entire video, And I hope that there has been something that you've resonated with, that you can be challenged with, or maybe just have a new perspective on why an individual cheats. So yeah, cool.